Alright, so this video will explain how to set up a virtual soundcheck, which means that you can play something that's been recorded into the computer, into Waves Tracks Live. You can play it back through the board to listen to something just as it was recorded. So it plays back through each of these channels just like the band was on the stage, even if they're not. So you can see nobody's up there. So first what I'll do is explain exactly how to do it really quickly. And then, if you're interested, I'll explain kind of what exactly it's doing at the end. So if you just need to see what to do, then watch the next 30 seconds. And if you want to see the rest, you can go on. All right, so basically the way we've got it set up to switch quickly back and forth between listening live and then to a virtual sound check is over here in the assign section. If you push button bank C, then you see we've got these two things here, snippets that are loaded. Snippet live is assigned to button 5, and snippet 6 is assigned to, V soundcheck is assigned to button 6. So basically what you want to do is if you want to listen as if when an actual band is up there playing, you want to make sure that you hit 5, and it's going to ask you to load the snippet. You click yes, and then you're good. If you want to listen back to the computer, so now, for example, if I've got this pulled up here, if I play back, it's playing, but nothing is happening. You're not hearing any music. If I wanted to listen to what's recorded on there, I'm going to go to Virtual Soundcheck, so I'm going to push 6, come up here, would you like to load it? Yes. Okay, and then now, when I press this, it's playing back as if there was someone up there, but you can see there's no tricks here. So it's just as if they're up there. It's all coming through the right channels, so you can mute things just like you normally would. Do EQ settings and all of that stuff. Everything's controlled on the main fader just like it is. Monitors are working just the same. So now this is only through the monitors, muted. It's exactly as it would be if somebody was up there playing. And then when you're done with the virtual sound check, you just click button 5, go back and click yes. Okay, and that's it. That's how you do it. Now what it's actually doing is we've set up these snippets to adjust some of the routing presets. So if you go to the routing page, you'll see that all the inputs normally, inputs 1 through 8, are assigned to local 1 through 8, 9 through 16 are assigned to 9 through 16, all of that. That's basically telling the board what we want to process through the board is we want these local inputs, those are the inputs on the back, the XLR jacks 1 through 8 to come through channels 1 through 8. We want the jacks that say 9 through 16, we want those to come through 9 through 16 on the board. Okay, so, but when we want it to come from the computer, we want 1 through 16 to be dictated by the USB connection, which goes back into the card on the back of the board. So to do that, we would scroll down and click down through this list, and we would say we want inputs 1 through 8 to be set to card 1 through 8. And so now you can hear as I did that, now channels 1 through 8, you can see the lights lighting up, are being sent through the card. Channels 9 through 16 and 17 through 32 still are not. So then if I scroll down here and did 9 through 16, now 9 through 16 of the card are being sent through here as well. Okay? If I turn it back, it would go off. So what we've done with the snippets are just little sections. You can save sort of any sort of setting. So it's just an automatic snippet that just changes these inputs 1 through 16. So if I push, I'm going to push virtual soundcheck snippet. I'm going to load it, and you'll be able to watch it just jumps to 9 through 16. When I push live and load it, it just goes back up to that. So that's all those buttons are actually doing, is just switching the routing inputs for the channels. And that's just, again, this assign section, you can watch the video on that, but it's basically just a customizable bank of shortcuts. And that's all it does. So then a couple quick notes to note while you're doing a virtual sound check. Is that the crowd mics, you don't want them on during playback, because if they're recording the sound of the room. Also, you want to make sure, like earlier, this channel, you can really read it, this was my mandolin. but which was just an open mic on stage. So even though when you're recording it live, you might have this, when we're playing, if I'm not playing the mandolin, you've got this muted. It's still recording into the computer, even though you've got it muted, because the recording is only capturing everything coming from straight out of the preamps. It's not, anything you do here isn't affecting what's being recorded. So that means this would still be playing back. So earlier I had it playing back with this unmuted on a song where I wasn't playing the mandolin, but it was still putting through the speakers everything that microphone was picking up. So just make sure when you're playing back on a virtual soundcheck, you've got only the elements that you actually want coming out through, which would never be the choir mics and never be any like open microphones, just like, if I wasn't playing the mandolin on stage during the song you're trying to play back, don't have that microphone open. All right, and that's pretty much it. Virtual sound checks. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Those are useful for, if you just kind of catch the tail end during sound check, you can play it back and listen to problem areas or whatever. But that's it. All right, thanks.